Everybody, does it work? Yes. Perfect. Hello, everyone. Thank you all for being here today, and big congrats to the Smarter Web company, to Andrew, Jesse, Laura, all the team. I am incredibly grateful to have been invited to share our perspectives on the European market. And it is really very friendly and nice and constructive and collaborative competition that we have with the Smarter Web company. And I think the most important aspect is that we've been collaborating since the beginning. And the Smarter Web winning is capital B winning, and capital B winning is the Smarter Web winning. And a very concrete example of this is that whenever the Smarter Web will do a capital raise that's successful, a lot of investors will want probably to do that as well. The reverse is true, and in fact we have joint shareholders, including Tobam here with us today, and UTXO Management, and many more. And would like really to thank you all, because we also have a lot of shareholders in our two companies, and I'm really very happy to be here with you today. So, as you may know, Capital B has been Europe's first and largest Bitcoin Treasury Company. We are actually the third in the world after Strategy and Metaplanet. And then the Smarter Web came in, and it was really a great year of 2025. A few disclaimers as well that you can read at your discretion on cptlb.com, and important information about all that we publish. It's capital markets, risk factors. Please, of course, take that into consideration. It will be quite a concentrated presentation. The slides didn't almost get through with the size of the presentation. But I will go a bit fast, but if you want to get into more details, it will be on the website very soon. So we've been characterized by being the most liquid, most institutional, the fastest growing Bitcoin company over in Europe, and very significant performance last year. As well, one of the most performing and sometimes best performing company over in 2025 in Europe, in France, the most liquid Bitcoin Treasury Company over and on Euronext growth, 300 million euros raised to date, 1,600+% of BTC yield from November and December 2024, where we had 40 Bitcoin. And now we are at 3,135 Bitcoin, and I'm really honored to building this with you together on this journey. That is made possible by a team of Bitcoin maximalists, a team of Bitcoin capital markets experts, the strength of our shareholder base, of our strategic investors, Adam Back, the only person mentioned in the Bitcoin white paper, Yves Chefati, the president founder of Tobam. Tobam itself, of course, with Yves and Axel here in the room. Blockstream Capital Partners, the largest Bitcoin venture capital fund in the world, before with Fulgur Ventures. And UTXO Management, the investment arm of Nakamoto, that I'm sure Nakamoto will also have a great success over in the future, as they are really at the frontier of innovation of Bitcoin capital markets, and we are really honored to have our strategic investors with us on the journey together with you. That represents 3 to 5 million euros of volume per day, more than 30,000 shareholders all across the world, 100 countries represented, 50+ institutions, France, Europe, outside of France, the US. We are a global company, the fourth largest Bitcoin Treasury Company shareholder community in the world, hand in hand with the Smarter Web as well, of course, and 20+ indices. That's quite a specificity. We've benefited from the fact that we've been listed since 2011, and in fact, the company was already wired into a lot of institutional flows. And then the company got restructured. We launched the Bitcoin Treasury Company strategy. And now we are amplifying European institutional flows. Tobam, of course, La Française, Bitwise, Franklin Templeton, and many more. 14 plus funds, 20 plus indices. And that's only the public available data. We have also passive investment flows, some of the largest in Europe, and the largest, in fact, in Europe for Bitcoin, with Tobam funds, with the life insurance, and with Bitwise for the Bitcoin Standard Corporation ETF, where we have a 7% allocation with the Bitcoin Treasury companies. But all of that is made possible by Bitcoin. We are Bitcoin maximalists, we work for Bitcoin, we serve Bitcoin. And our role is to contribute to Bitcoin adoption overall. And with an equity, with credit instruments that can provide value in capital markets, and even outperform an asset that is outperforming everything else. It is important to zoom out. Bitcoin is completely outperforming everything else if you look at the right time horizon. A capital investor is looking at a 10-year investment. And at a 10-year investment, Bitcoin is up 18,000%. And the Max 7 digital intelligence is 800%. Digital capital is where all of the profits are stored. All of the profits from the AI wave are going to be stored. All of the money printing is ultimately going into Bitcoin. And Bitcoin is going by 20x over 8 years, and the bottoms keep going higher and higher. $200, $3,000, $15,000, and now $60,000. And we are just getting started. Bitcoin, in fact, is heading to the capitalization of gold, and 100K invested back in May 2020 yielded 250K in dollars for gold, and 700K in Bitcoin. And this is in the bear market we are right now after minus 50%. So Bitcoin is just the best long-term store of value. And in fact, the period where we found ourselves in is a major asymmetrical opportunity. I've never seen such a level of asymmetric information in my whole life. I'm young still, but in Bitcoin, with the Bitcoin capital markets adoption and with the growth of digital credit, almost nobody knows about STRC, about SATA, about digital credit, and about the potential companies like Smarter Web, like Capital B, to deploy that into major capital markets in the world. Publicly listed companies, in fact, are the best Bitcoin accumulation machines, and this trend is growing by the day. You see news that Bitcoin treasury companies, some would have sold Bitcoin or some would be slowing down. And I see posts of very well-known people in Bitcoin that Bitcoin treasury companies are dead, or that I heard earlier this morning that supposedly small Bitcoin treasury companies will be mostly dead. No, I'm sorry, I completely disagree. If someone has a very small portfolio and invests all in Bitcoin, it will not be dead in 10 years. And it will be the same for a small Bitcoin treasury company that adopts Bitcoin today. It will not be dead. It's based on Bitcoin. Unless you are bearish Bitcoin, I can understand. But if you are bull Bitcoin, I don't think it's really appropriate to think that a Bitcoin treasury company will be dead in 10 years, unless it uses inappropriately, of course, leverage and so on. But holding Bitcoin is the winning strategy with a small company, with a medium-sized company, with a large company. And of course, there are advantages to being the largest Bitcoin treasury company in a specific region. Strategy and Strive have shown the success of digital credit over in the US. And I'm sure Smarter Web, Capital B, MetaPlanet will show that future potential in their respective markets. In fact, when you look at the respective performances since the launch of each respective strategy, Bitcoin treasury companies that are focused on digital credit are the best performing companies out there. And Smarter Web is also outperforming. We need to add that on the chart. but I think it's like 2,000% and 500% or even more. And I think that's aligned with what you see here. And that's the story of companies being able to multiply by 100x and more their Bitcoin holdings in a market where Bitcoin is flat. And if in the market of Bitcoin flat, you are able to accumulate 3,000 Bitcoin, if in the bear market we were able to accumulate 700 Bitcoin, I think that shows that there is something that's working, there is something interesting, there is some curiosity that could be important. And I'm glad to be with you today because here the room is full of curiosity, is full of forward-looking. And actually I had a talk earlier before, an interview, and I think the most striking thing is in this room, everybody is relaxed. Everybody is long-term oriented. Everybody is looking at the future. And that is allowed by and powered by the Bitcoin network, allowing people to focus on the long-term potential of their financial performance and of their sovereignty ultimately. And digital credit is also doing that for the 99% of the population that cannot handle the volatility, but is interested to have the best risk-adjusted returns. And this is today STRC, SATA, and potentially in the future, the potential products that other companies could issue in their respective regions. Strategy for each dollar of dividends has $60 of Bitcoin reserves. And this is just the most over-collateralized type of perpetual obligation in the market. And this is completely transforming how capital market assess performance, assess risk, and this is going to eat the world. When you see Jesse's slide on the market potential of Bitcoin and Bitcoin Treasury companies, this is going to eat the whole slide. And this is the most important thing that I think is the asymmetric information today. I have 10 seconds, maybe 2 minutes more, but we'll keep that in 30 seconds. With that context, Capital B is completely focused on maximizing the number of Bitcoin per share. And the best way to maximize the number of Bitcoin per fully diluted share is to deploy the strategy playbook at European scale for us. And the best way for that is to deploy perpetual digital credit over in Europe and for the world. And that is our full focus. We are laser eyes focused on maximizing BTC yield for the future for our shareholders on a Bitcoin standard with the power of digital credit. Thank you so much all.